गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text number 34. Kindly repeat after me. Yasmin mahat guna rajan grihante kavibhir muhu nate dhuna pidiyante yatha bhagavatishvare। Yasmin mahat guna rajan grihante kavibhir muhu nate dhuna pidiyante यथा भगवतीश्वरे। यस्मिन् महद्गुणा राजन् गृह्यन्ते कविभिर्मुहुः न ते धुनापि धीयन्ते यथा भगवतीश्वरे। Vaishnavis, word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yasmin, in whom, Mahadguna, exalted transcendental qualities, Rajan, O King, Grihante, are glorified, Kavibihi, by persons who are thoughtful and advanced in knowledge. Muhu, always. Na, not. Te, these. Aduna, today. Pidhiyante, are obscured. Yatha, just as. Bhagavati, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvare, the Supreme Controller. Translation. O King, Prahlad Maharaj's good qualities are still glorified by learned saints and Vaishnavas. As all good qualities are always found existing in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they also exist forever in his devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. Purport. From authoritative scripture, it is learned that Prahlad Maharaj still lives in Vaikuntha Lok as well as within this material world on the planet Sutala. This transcendental quality of existing simultaneously in different places is another qualification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Golok eva nivasati akhilatma bhutaha. Brahma Samhita 537. The Lord appears in the core of everyone's heart, yet he exists on his own planet Golok Vrindavan. A devotee acquires qualities almost the same as those of the Lord because of unalloyed devotional service. Ordinary living beings cannot be so qualified, but a devotee can be qualified like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not in full, but partially. Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis to speak something on this subject matter in accordance with the Parampara's message for my own purification, for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas assembled, for the pleasure of the deities and the Acharyas. Hare Krishna. So this is a very beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam where it is Narad Muni, although the spiritual master of Prahlad Maharaj, is taking great joy in glorifying his own disciples' wonderful qualities. So just before the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj started, the section was mentioning about, it ended by saying that, Lord told the demigods that don't worry, right now Hiranyakashipu is flourishing because he has been given benediction by Brahmaji, but when his son will be born and he will torture the son, the torture that is giving all of you is okay, but I will not tolerate the torture that he does to my devotee. So don't worry, that time I will finish him. And then all the demigods return, feeling very joyful, as if almost he is already killed. And then Narad Muni further describes to Yudhishthira Maharaj the wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. So over the last few verses we have been discussing them. And here in this translation it said, O King, Prahlad Maharaj's good qualities are still glorified by learned saints and Vaishnavas. As all good qualities are always found existing in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they also exist forever in his devotee Prahlad Maharaj. So, no matter which part of India we may be in, no matter how much Kali Yuga has progressed, but still I believe most of the people in India, at least, they get to hear about Prahlad Maharaj in their childhood, right? All of us must have heard the story of Prahlad Maharaj, although the purport may not have been given by the great acharyas like Prabhupada, but and at least we come to know the glory of a great personality like Prahlad Maharaj, even in childhood, because he is so glorious. Among all the pastimes of the Bhagavatam, one of the very famous pastimes which is discussed very often across the lok means in the general public also is of Prahlad Maharaj. So today we will discuss something about the glories of Prahlad Maharaj, and we'll also here in specific context Prabhupada mentions about one of the qualities that of omnipresent. Our Lord is also available in Golok Vrindavan and also in the Paramatma. So how devotee can also be like that. Prahlad Maharaj is there at Sutala and he is also in Vaikuntha Lok. And we hear also he is in Harivarsha. So like that there are many places he is there. So the devotee can do that. So we'll just briefly mention on that. Then we'll discuss some of the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, some of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, today is also a very auspicious day of the disappearance of Srila Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj. Also, there is a Samadhi inauguration of Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in Vrindavan today. And then we'll discuss something about the two, and the quality which is mentioned here, that they are forever existing in the devotee. So what is the difference between transcendental qualities and mundane qualities? And how do we acquire these divine qualities? So this way we'll go ahead. So coming to the point about, and the first point about the omnipresent. So the devotee of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, can show qualities which are beyond the capability of an ordinary jiva. Like if we see here Prahlada Maharaj is discussed, we can see also Srila Prabhupada. Now Srila Prabhupada is present there as the deity. He is present there also as the deity, and the picture in every of the altars and in so many temples across the world. So someone may say, how can a jiva do that? So just to share one pastime of Prabhupada in that regard. One time one of his disciple Mataji, Rasagya Mataji, she was feeling that it's winter time and Prabhupada is just wearing when we are dressing him, the cloth which is being given, it's actually already very cold. I'm not sure which country it is, but maybe it's a very cold country, so the cloth has itself become very cold. So she would iron it fresh before the dress is given to Srila Prabhupada. So another devotee who had no clue about all this, what she is doing, she was doing it like in a background. So she got a dream where Srila Prabhupada told that please thank Rasagya that she is keeping me warm. So the Mataji tells to Rasagya Mataji that Prabhupada is very happy that you are keeping him warm. I don't know what it means. So she could understand that what Prabhupada is actually indicating, and she was in tears that Prabhupada is actually accepting that loving service. So the great souls like Srila Prabhupada, Prahlada Maharaj, they can be present in multiple places and they can reciprocate with so many jivas simultaneously. It is very difficult to appreciate by mundane logic how great souls are able to give in the same, like in one visit they are able to touch so many lives, and they are able to reciprocate with thousands of people in one shot. And we hear about, of course, Srila Prabhupada. He was running a worldwide mission, writing letters, snail mail, which we call because it's so slow. But we have emails and WhatsApps, and we are not able to manage sometimes our own department of one temple, and what to talk of a temple, what to talk of so many temples, and what to talk of a worldwide organization. And he was writing the purports. We are supposed to just read the purports. We are not able to read the purports enough, which he has written in just 11 years. Srila Prabhupada had translated only first canto till 1966. And in the next 10 years, he translated the next 9 cantos. And also Chaitanya Charitamrita and many other books. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bhagwan ki, Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada translated so many books. He was circumambulating the whole earth 14 times. He did it within the next 11-12 years. He actually was preaching so powerfully, 4-5 lectures every day, and writing the purports at the age of 70 plus, with 2 heart attacks and diabetes, and managing all the troubles of the disciples, fall downs and all, and management issues, everything he was doing, and he was able to do it with a cool head, warm heart, and make everyone happy in Krishna consciousness. Not like how much I have to do. So a devotee who is fixed in Krishna can do so much for Krishna without much of a external passionate kind of a expression. Because of his transcendental nature of devotional service, he is empowered by the Lord to do unlimited things. It's humanly inconceivable what Prabhupada did. It is impossible. It is inconceivable and impossible. Even our next generation acharyas, like today, Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj Samadhi inauguration is there. He had so many tens of thousands of disciples. And it is so inconceivable how he would remember their names, remember the details, and he would reciprocate with so many, many devotees. He was taking care of the GBC role, bureau role, and taking personal care of so many devotees. Anyone could meet him. It was so amazing that so many devotees could really meet him. And then he was still so fixed in his morning program, and late night till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, serving the disciples, personally meeting each one of them, and at 4 o'clock he's there for the altar. Very inconceivable. It is not humanly possible. So, when the devotee takes complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, he becomes a superconductor of Lord's mercy. The normal current which someone can flow through the wire is not at all at any comparative nature to superconductor. The superconductor has zero resistance. So, because a pure devotee has zero resistance to the Lord's desire, Lord's will, so the Lord can use him as his puppet. And when he becomes like that, then he becomes as good as the Supreme Lord. It's like I can use my hand and lift this. It's not like my hand will say, why are you using me? Because I can just use it. Of course, if Lord paralyzes my hand, I can't use. But the point I'm principally sharing is that the part and parcel which has become one with the Lord, in the sense that he's ready to do whatever the Lord says. He becomes as good as the Lord because the Lord uses him whatever way he wants. And Prahlada Maharaj was such a personality. So here, Prahlada Maharaj's qualities which have come a little before, it's mentioned how he respected his seniors, how he was sense controlled, he was not interested in any worldly affairs. So many things are mentioned. In the next 3 verses ahead, one very important word will come, Krishna Griha Grihata Atma. He is possessed by the planet of Krishna. So, that quality actually is a very important one. We will discuss a little later about it. But because of that, when the pure devotee, the prime quality of a pure devotee is that he is possessed by Krishna. Krishna takes over his life. So then all that happens around it, like he may be very compassionate, he may be very sense controlled, he may be very humble. All that is just because he's actually controlled by Krishna. He's always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So we'll read a little from Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, not Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, and this Sadhava Hridaya Mayam by His Holiness Shri Maharaj, where it's a dialogue where Durvasa gets a lot of glorification of the devotees from Lord. So how he glorifies Prahlada Maharaj there is very, very amazing. Because it's a discussion on Prahlada Maharaj here, we will take a little from here. I don't think so I can make it bigger because this is PDF. But maybe I will read it so you can catch it. Oops. Yeah, that much I can. So, the Lord is mentioning to Durvasa that my mercy is not independent of the mercy of my devotees. In fact, my devotees' mercy surpasses my mercy also. Because they become merciful on someone, then I have to give him mercy. So, like that he says, because they increase the family of my devotees, they are very dear to me. In fact, I cannot repay the debt. So, when he says this, then the Lord stopped. And Durvasa could see tears in his lotus eyes. Touched by the Lord's bliss, Durvasa's heart softened. And in a whisper, he asked, "Why are you crying, my Lord?" Lord Narayana could not immediately answer. His mind sank into the lake of attachment to his devotees, where it became a swan playing among the lotus stems of the attributes of different Vaishnavas. So the Lord's heart has sunk into the deep sweetness of his love, which he is meditating on the qualities of his devotees, dear devotees. Finally, the swan mind of the Lord Narayan embraced the blue lotus of Prahlada Maharaj and realized the devotion of that leader among devotees. So now Lord speaks in ecstasy. At the risk of his own life, Prahlada Maharaj, although just a young boy, instructed his schoolmates in devotion to me. When challenged by the king of demons, his father, Prahlada did not hide his devotion, but instead openly glorified me. And when Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlada in a variety of ways, that little boy never wavered in his devotion. In the same way that Ambarish had made no effort to protect himself from you, Prahlada Maharaj made no effort to protect himself from his father. Therefore, I came to rescue both. Now, looking straight at Durvasa, Lord Narayana said, and after I killed Hiranyakashipu, do you know what Prahlada asked for? That you liberate his father. Yes, and in so doing, he revealed the heart of a Vaishnava. A pure devotee thinks primarily of others, never of himself. Durvasa felt self-conscious, because he was only thinking of his own saving, saving himself from the Sudarshan is still standing behind, He was certainly not a selfless soul. Here he was looking for shelter from the result of his own sin. The Lord continued, do you know what else Prahlada said? Durvasa remained silent. He did not know. Listen, O sage, just to hear his words makes my heart swell with pride at the privilege of being connected to such a rare soul. What Lord is saying? I am feeling privileged to be connected to such a rare soul as Prahlada. Prahlada said, Naivo dvije paradurutya vaitranyas tadvir gayana mahamrigamatna chitta soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudan. So he says that I am not worried, I am not afraid of the material existence because I am fully absorbed in the thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. Then Lord says further to Durvasa, this is a devotee. He preaches my glories at the risk of his life, does not care for his own liberation and always thinks of bringing lost souls back to me. Now can you understand how much I love them? Why I cannot enjoy my kingdom without them? And why they control me? Durvasa said nothing, but he felt like he was starting to understand. Later, Lord says further. Lord Narayana continued to glorify Prahlada. O Brahmana, eager to know how dear devotees are to me, let me tell you what your own worshipable Shiva once told his brother Narada. Shiva said, in this world there is a devotee who is exceptionally dear to the Lord, Prahlada Maharaj. He is greater than all the Lord's servants in Vaikuntha, including Garuda, Vishwaksena and even Lakshmi. Although the Lord's body is the origin of all the demigods and the source of the pleasure for devotees like us, he considers his body worthless compared to the value of Prahlada. For not only is Prahlada free of material motivation, but his surrender to the Lord is especially complete. Well, Durvasa then asked that why is such new devotees like Prahlada dearer to you, than others? He says eternal associates like Shankarshan and Lakshmi, they surely have unswerving devotion, but they never underwent the tribulations which these devotees have gone through in the material world. Going further, he also mentions that I did not give mercy to Bali because he gave so much, land to me. He was ready to trade off his spiritual master word also for my pleasure. All that is not going to please me. The only reason I gave mercy to Bali Maharaj is because he is connected to Prahlada Maharaj. And similarly, the only reason why I gave mercy to Banasur is also because of connection to Prahlada Maharaj. Going further, he says something very important. Here he says, the demigods see you frequently. Durvasa is asking. Bali Maharaj sees you at will and residents of Vaikuntha live with you. To have your personal darshan is the perfection of spiritual life. But Prahlada Maharaj hardly sees you. Instead, he is absorbed in remembering you. How then can he be more fortunate than the aforementioned souls? So Lord, then he says, do you know what Prahlada himself says? What, my Lord? He says, I have never performed any real service for the Lord, like Hanuman and others. I have only remembered the Lord sometimes when my mind was troubled. Transcendently amused, Lord continued, with the deep humility characteristic of a Vaishnava, Prahlad thinks that he is a novice at meditation and that he only turns to me when he is in distress. But the fact is that Prahlad's remembrance of me pierces the material coverings and gives him full access to my unmanifest abode. Moreover, he is always seeing me as Narsingadev in the tract of land known as Harivarsha, where he offers me prayers rich with devotion. And yet, because he is so intoxicated by the ecstasy of love for me, and now he says beautifully, Prahlad thinks both his meditations and darshan of me are a dream. And so he continues to lament after me in the spirit of separation. It's so amazing, He's seeing the Lord, and Lord is actually later going to appear as Narsingadev just for Prahlad. But he's only thinking that, I'm not qualified to take darshan, so most probably it must be a dream actually. He's always glorifying the Lord. So to answer your question, Prahlad does see me. He sees me within and outside himself, and with the spiritual vision unknown to those you have mentioned. Like that, Lord continues to say, and in the end, Lord says one beautiful verse that Goddess of Earth once said to my Prahlad. Lord is saying my Prahlad. What is that? Aho kritartha sutaramni loko yasmin sthito bhagavatottamosi sprishanti pashyanti cha ye bhavantam bhavam chayamste hariloka bhaja. Oh, this human world is now especially fortunate since you, the best of Vaishnavas, are present. Everyone who touches you or sees the symptoms of your ecstatic emotions will become entitled to take up residence in Hariloka. So at least we can glorify such a great personality like Prahlad Maharaj through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is about Srila Prahlad Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada, also an embodiment of the mercy of, like here we are seeing Prahlad Maharaj's glorification in thinking of always others. So Prabhupada was similarly thinking always of delivering the whole world on behalf of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he embodied all the divine qualities. So because he embodied all the divine qualities, everyone loved him. Dhira dhira jana priyo priyo karo. Prabhupada, of late, devotees have been trying to preach from, Radhashampu has gone several times to America and many others have been sent. I also met some devotees in Delhi who went to America recently. So I got to discuss a lot about how many devotees are wondering what exactly Prabhupada did that he could make such a magic happen in the West. Because so much of effort is still going on, but to revive to the same kind of a glory is not so easy. So it is but obvious that actually Srila Prabhupada, being very, very intoxicated lover of Krishna, could attract the hearts of so many people across the world. So they are not ordinary souls who can attract so many jivas to the lotus feet of Krishna. So to the degree one becomes intoxicated on Krishna, to that degree he becomes all attractive. In the capacity of a jiva, but still not like Prabhupada mentions here, that ordinary living beings cannot be so qualified, but a devotee can be qualified like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not in full, but partially. So Prabhupada did that magic and he attracted so many souls to the lotus feet of Krishna. In the hippie land, he could preach the divine message of pure devotion service and everyone embraced it with so much heart. They could understand divine pure devotion service, which is not a product of this world, because it was coming from the lotus mouth of Srila Prabhupada with his personal devotion exuding from his existence. So, coming to a second part of the discussion, which is about this kind of qualities are actually transcendental qualities. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in this purport to this verse, which we are reading today, he says that such qualities are glorified by persons with discrimination kavibihi. These qualities are not fixed in the jiva, but are found in persons related to the Lord. Those qualities are perceived by the wise man's purified senses, starting with the mind. That is the meaning of saying that the qualities are glorified by the wise. Those qualities are explained to be eternal. So the divine qualities of a jiva are also very attractive. And what we see usually on the mundane platform, we may see someone very polite or kind. It may be there, but they are all born out of their material svabhava. It is not the original qualities of the soul. And that is not at all comparable to the divine qualities that the soul can actually reflect. So the soul is very, very attractive. I was reading one explanation by Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj on Cheto Darpana Varjanam verse. So I'll just read a few lines from there, very beautiful. Lord Chaitanya begins by chanting Cheto Darpana Marjanam, that the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord cleanses the mirror of our consciousness. Originally, we are all pure Krishna conscious entities. Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Jiva soul is a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabu Noy. Pure love of Krishna is within the heart of every living being. Ecstatic bliss is within the heart of every living being. But somehow the consciousness, which is compared to the mirror, has been covered with layers and layers of dust. Why is Lord Chaitanya comparing the consciousness to the mirror? Because the function of the mirror is to reflect the true identity and nature of our own self. When we look in the mirror, we do not expect to see someone else. It is reflecting the real beauty of ourself. The soul is unlimitedly beautiful because it is qualitatively one with Krishna. And now he speaks something to help us understand the superlative nature of the quality of the soul. He says, the soul is unlimitedly beautiful because it is qualitatively one with Krishna, who is the supreme beauty. Krishna explains one spark of his beauty is creating all the intoxication for pleasure within this entire material existence. Mama Tejo Amsha Sambhavam. So all the attractive things in this world are just a Amsha of the Lord. And here the Jiva is also Amsha of the Lord. So now he will go from the material beauty of this material world, which is the Amsha, to the Amsha, which is the Jiva. He says, far greater than the perverted reflection of the spark within this material universe is the soul. Factually, the beauty of one infinitesimal Jivatma within any species of life has more qualitative beauty and enchantment than all the things within this entire cosmic manifestation, all the way up to Brahmaloka. What is the beauty of a soul that we cannot even imagine? It is the part and parcel of Krishna, the all beautiful. No? And then he says, but is right now that is covered by layers and layers and layers of dust and has been accumulated from birth after birth after birth. And so we cannot see what we are and what we are meant to be. All we see is that dust. So this is very important for the further discussion on how one can actually work towards the divine qualities. So the primary program that Srila Prabhupada or the Srimad Bhagavatam or the process of Bhagavad Vedhi is not about trying to be good in this world in some way, like many of the mundane philosophers and organizations talk about be good, do good, all that stuff. Our program is very, very different. Our program is Shanvatam sa katha Krishna punne shavana kirtana hridayantastu yabhadrani vidhunoti suhritsatam. The jiva is actually all beautiful. The soul's original qualities are naturally pure and all attractive. But when covered by this dust, one is not showing the right qualities. So the acquired qualities sometimes show something apparently good or sometimes apparently bad. So there is actually sometimes impious, sometimes pious, but both are mundane. It has no comparison to what is the divine qualities of the soul. can show you a little on this. See, this is the gross body, and then there is the subtle body and the soul. So what we see as usually what we can perceive as the qualities of another person, if we are not very advanced in consciousness, we will see these subtle body dealings only. That, okay, he's kind to me, so he's nice. He's not so kind, or he's not very responsible, so he's not nice. But actually it has nothing to do with the soul. The soul's qualities are different. The soul's qualities are the innate qualities. So in one of the slides by his guest Radheshampu, he shows this is the subtle body, the gross, the outside layer, orange layer. So there are acquired qualities which are born out of experiences, the abilities, memory, learning, habits, beliefs. But the soul's innate qualities, peace, love, power, truth, happiness, equilibrium, they are actually very different in their nature itself. Actually, they are all born out of one primary quality. If you read various sections of the Shastras, it will tell it repeatedly that the primary quality of the soul is Krishna Eka Sharanam. Just like when the spark is with the fire, it is glowing. As soon as it goes off, then the spark can glow only for a few moments and put off. So, in the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, Krishna Ek Sharanam is the primary quality. And all the other 25 are only a concomitant, resultant factor because he has got the quality of Krishna Ek Sharanam. We see also in this, this is 3.25.21 Kapil Dev section, where first the secondary qualities are mentioned. Titikshvava karunika surda sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushana. So what is mentioned is sadhu bhushan. Sadhu bhushan means what is an ornament for a Vaishnava or a sadhu. So ornaments are decorating the sadhu. So these are the secondary qualities which Chakravarti Thakur writes. The tolerance, mercifulness, friendly to all living beings and to enemies, also gentle, straightforward and respectful to all other devotees. This is secondary qualities. So then what is the primary quality? Primary quality is not a bhushan of the sadhu. The primary quality makes him a sadhu. And what is that? That he mentions in the next verse. Mayananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti yedinam matkrite tyakta karmanas tyakta sajana bandhava. So they perform steady bhakti to me with exclusive devotion. Ananyena bhavena. That is very important. So bhaktim kurvanti. So this again refers to the same quality of Krishna Eka Sharanam. This one quality is actually making the devotee a beautiful person. We very often remember that verse when we talk about qualities of devotees. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati yakinchana sarvai gunai tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasti dhavato bahi. So he says yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. That akinchana bhakti is this only. When there is it's unalloyed devotion. So Prabhupada also mentions in this purport about unalloyed devotion. Or if you see in Prahlada Maharaj section, here we are talking Krishna Griha Grihatatma. So one who becomes possessed by Krishna, then all other secondary qualities will become manifest because they are actually a byproduct of the primary quality. So this is the Swarup Lakshan. See, the principal quality, the Swarup Lakshan is described here. So, in another beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Gitavali, Shreyo Nirnaya. What is actually the Shreyas? What is supposed to be worked upon? He very beautifully brings about what is secondary and what is primary. And the example that he gives is so graphic that we will catch the point very easily. So, I'll read the last two verses also, but first we'll read the translations of the first two. Love and affection for the nature of eternity, knowledge and bliss is like a very beautiful woman whose ornaments are all the good qualities headed by mercifulness and religiosity. So, the divine wisdom of pure jnana is her silken sari. This is actually, he is describing bhakti, how bhakti is attractive. The divine wisdom of pure jnana is a silken sari. The practice of the yoga of devotional service is an excellent bodily fragrance. Adorned by these qualities, that beautiful and chaste woman steals away the mind of Krishna himself. Just like a chaste woman's beauty is actually for the pleasure of the husband. So it is not for the pleasure of other men. No? Similarly, the bhakti is actually for the pleasure of the Purusha, Krishna. And all the other qualities are the ornaments which the lady of bhakti is wearing in only to give more pleasure to her husband. So here he says something in that connection. Rupa vina alankare kiba shobha e samsare priti vihin gune Krishna na tushite pari. If ornaments are worn by one completely devoid of beauty, then is such a person considered to be beautiful in this world? Similarly, one possessing good qualities like mercifulness and religiosity is unable to satisfy Lord Krishna if devoid of love for him. And then he gives a more graphic. Vanarira alankara shobha nahi hoye tara Krishna prema vina tatha gunena adar kori. Just as there is no beauty to an ornament worn on the body of a female monkey, in the same way, I do not hold in very high esteem qualities such as mercifulness and religiosity if they are devoid of love for Krishna. If the beauty, here the example, analogy is given of a woman. If the beauty of a woman is for the pleasure of other people, it's prostitution. And if it is for the pleasure of the husband, it is chastity. So the prime quality Srila Prabhupada mentions about a woman's woman's special qualities are chastity and shyness. So she is not eager to show her beauty to others, rather she wants to show her, express her beauty for pleasure of husband, and she is chaste, pativrata. Similarly, to the degree our bhakti becomes unalloyed, to that degree, that akinchana, to that degree actually our bhakti becomes very pleasing to Krishna. And then all the qualities that come around it actually are very beautiful for Krishna. And because Krishna smiles at such a jiva, he becomes all attractive for the world. Otherwise, independent of Krishna's pleasure, no jiva has any capacity to attract a single soul also. So one should always know that all the joy of heart, like when the gopis would see Krishna's qualities, by seeing his qualities, their devotion would increase. And when their devotion would increase, Lord would smile more, and he will reveal more, and then their qualities would their devotion would increase more. So actually, the devotion of devotee towards Krishna makes him so blissful, because he is always attracted to that all-attractive Supreme Lord, and because of this, he can actually attract the world. So, about these qualities, a little more from, maybe I can just close with this last part from Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, where it is mentioned, oftentimes it happens so that we may see the qualities of some devotees more easily than, like some of the qualities which they show in character, more easily than their devotional activities. So here he mentions steadiness of devotion activities versus qualities. I'd like to read and explain. The word steady relates especially to the consistency in devotees' acts of devotion, to their chanting, hearing and remembering. And it also refers to how consistently they display the qualities favorable to devotion, like humility, mercifulness and tolerance. So there are two types of steadiness he's talking about. This is in Nishtha stage where he's talking about. One is about steadiness in the activities of devotional, like chanting, reading, hearing, etc. And the other one is of qualities, humility, mercifulness, tolerance. Control of gross and subtle senses is the primary characteristic of steady devotion service. Its secondary characteristic is the consistency with which the quality is favorable to devotion become fixed in the devotee's character. Some devotees are humble, tolerant and kind, but not at all steady in the primary activities of devotion such as chanting and hearing. They are consistent in the qualities favorable to devotion. The secondary characteristics of steadiness, but the secondary characteristic of steadiness. But because this steadiness is not matched by steadiness in sense control, it may be more a sign of piety from previous good deeds than one of serious Krishna consciousness. So, some devotee is showing some qualities in dealings, but he is not steady in his devotional activities. Then, though they cannot be kept at par with or higher than people who may have steady activities of devotion. Other devotees exhibit intolerance, pride, and anger, yet show all signs of steadiness in their devotional practice. This is a display of the primary characteristic of steadiness in the absence of the secondary one. So, oftentimes in a community life, people who show qualities in dealings very nicely, they behave gentlemanly, they look more acceptable and appreciated than those who may be consistent with their devotional activities. Devotees with such characteristics are serious about their Krishna consciousness, yet immature in their development of Vaishnava traits. Ideally, of course, devotees should be steady in both devotional practice and in their display of qualities favorable to devotion. In evaluating advancement of devotees, materialistic persons and neophyte devotees tend to place more emphasis on the presence of devotional qualities than on the strict observance of devotional practices. Therefore, they are more likely to be attracted to kind, soft-spoken devotee who neglects his 16 rounds than to a strict sadhaka who lacks Vaishnava etiquette and culture. It is a mistake, however, to compare a person refined in culture, one who has refined personal qualities, with a devotee who displays steady attachment to the practice of pure devotion service. Cultured persons cannot advance in spiritual life until they become serious about their devotional practice. Similarly, if a strict devotee, now caution is also given for those who may be simply doing nice bhajan, but they may not be rightly situated in their dealings. If a strict devotee with an unrefined character proudly offends Vaishnavas by his immature dealings, even his steady sadhana will not bear the fruit of spiritual advancement. Ultimately, any devotee who is truly sincere and humble and who is steady in sadhana will soon be free of all rough edges and become an ideal person. This is the import of the following verse, often quoted by Srila Prabhupada to stress this point. Jasyaste Bhakti verse. So, to put it in summary, it is important for us to work on both the divine qualities that Lord and the great souls are expecting from us, in service to them as per their instruction. And one of the most important things to work upon is the daily execution of devotional duties in form of chanting, hearing, reading, worship of the Lord. And as we practice the core devotional practices as given by Rupa Goswami in 64 items, those 64 items are actually Sarup Siddha Bhakti processes. There is Sarup Siddha Bhakti, there is Arop Siddha Bhakti, and there is Sangha Siddha Bhakti. And the most potent one to actually give us the Bhakti element in our life is Sarupa Siddha Bhakti processes. So the 64 items of devotional service are most important for us to regularly take benefit of, take shelter of, and then we can actually develop Akinchana Bhakti in a very, in the fastest way. Along with that, we should work to see that we are very appropriately situated in the Sangha of devotees to be receiving their blessings and thus be blessed by the Lord for the whatever sadhana we are doing. So Prahlada Maharaj, Lord or Srila Prabhupada, they are Akinchana Bhaktas. Because of that, they are all attractive to everyone. So if there is any question, maybe we can take for 5 minutes. If there is no question, I can show you one short video of Prabhupada. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Very nice class you have given. One question is that see, Prahlada Maharaj has faced so many troubles by giving Hiranyakashipu, even though he has continued his bhakti with Narayana or Prabhu. But whereas one place it is mentioned that demigods and Maharshi Narada also served Hiranyakashipu by frightening him. So it is controversy because Narad Muni is the guru of Prahlada. Prahlad is not frightened to anything, whatever happened to him, but even he continued his bhakti. Whereas demigods and Narad Muni has served Prahlad Maharaj by frightening their lives or whatever troubles they may give. So it is controversy we are looking at. So you can explain that?
Actually, the demigods have material desires and they have fear of.
More about I'm facing,
Yeah, I'm
focusing
coming.
on Narad,
I'm coming there. So there are three personalities you mentioned: demigods, Narad Muni, and Prahlad Maharaj. So the demigods are fearful of their life. They are in bodily consciousness also. So they are fearful of the atrocities of uh, Hiranyakashipu, and they can be killed and all that. So yes, they will always try to see how we can appease in such a way that we can uh, exist. So that is demigod situation. However, Narad Muni and the great souls, when they act in this way, Prabhupada writes in that place also that it is not because of any fear of Hiranyakashipu. So what is exactly why Lord different times, like if a pure devotee of the Lord is preaching to some very big politician, so one may give respect to the politician, although he may be otherwise not proper also, you know. So one should not put them in the same line as the demigods. So Narad Muni is not fearful of his own life in one sense. So he is doing his Leela. And in that Leela he is doing that part where he is also, appeasing not but Hiranyakashipu. And Prahlad Maharaj is finally to be glorified. That's the Leela of the Lord. The Lord actually does different Leelas in which different personalities will be glorified. Here, Prahlad Maharaj devotion is so much glorified. Lakshmi ji backs off from appeasing Narsingh Dev and all. So it's not like Lakshmi ji cannot appease the Lord, but who has to be made the hero by the Lord, everyone takes part in that Leela like that. So we should not uh, consider lower higher in that way. That Prahlad Maharaj is very high and Narad Muni maybe not so high. Although Narad Muni is spiritual master, how can he be fearful of of Hiranyakashipu? So this is actually the Lord allows the devotees. Like Bhishma is a great devotee, he's a Mahajan, but he's playing the role of being on the other side. He is not the slave of Duryodhan. Uska namak khaya hai isliye, that's all external thing which is seen by the outside fellows. But actually he is doing it only for allowing Lord to experience Viraras. So is he having any fear of Duryodhan that if he goes against him and goes to Pandava's side, so it will be wrong? So it's not like that. So the great souls, when they act in some capacity which looks apparently like a mundaner, one should know that they are acting within the will of the Lord, not based on some mundane hankerings or insecurities. So Narad Muni is not in that capacity. We
Hare
can
Krishna. What we can learn from that, Narad Muni is serving Hiranyakashipu. So how
we
we
don't
can
have
see that?
see we don't have to take a lesson for ourselves from like if Lord you enter into Lord's Leela and then Lord tells you to do something in that Leela as the drama, you do that. But I think we are right now just taking first steps in devotion service. So maybe when you won't have to ask this question when you are there. so 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 the Lord and the pure devotees have their internal dialogues which we cannot always conceive of. Prabhuji, you have something to share?
I heard from His Grace Gaurang Prabhu regarding this. Just like in the August Assembly of Devotees, suddenly a pig from the gutter comes here running. All of us will get up and run away. It is not because we are afraid of that pig, but because we don't want to get contaminated with all the dirty thing. So similarly, great souls like Narad Muni, he is not at all afraid. In fact, Gaurang Prabhu only tells that once Narad Muni came to Hiranyakashipu and he had one sword called Chandrahas and he just cut off the body of Narad Muni from the stomach. The whole sword went through and he saw there was no blood and Narad Muni was smiling. And then he was wondering. So then Narad Muni said, do you want to know the secret? And he wanted to become immortal anyway. So if no sword or any instrument can work like that, So he said, yes, what is the secret? So then he said, tapasya, austerities. You perform austerities, then you get such tapobal, such strength, then nothing can harm you. So then that's how the Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities. So Narad Muni long before only has shown that his body is completely transcendental. He has no fear from demon like Hiranyakashipu. Also, like for 6 Goswamis we hear, Dhira Dhira Jano Priya Karo. So like that, Narad Muni also is very much respected by Hiranyakashipu as well as demigods. So demons and devotees, they all love Narad Muni. And Narad Muni has friendly relationship. It's not like he's in the fearful and all that. And certainly demigods are fearful. That's what Indra in his prayers later on to Lord Narsingadev says, "Oh Lord, our hearts are meant to be focused and meditating on you, but because of this terrible demon, Hiranyakashipu, our hearts were all the time fearful of his fear only. So that's how our original heart meant for your remembrance was occupied by him. That good that you killed him now, now we can again remember you." So demigods are in the lower category in 4 lakh species of human beings, and supreme, topmost are the pure devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj comes in that. Narad Muni also comes in that category only. But Narad Muni also plays a role in Lord's pastime. So he doesn't want to, just like Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. They were approached by Rup Narayan, who was so-called worldly scholar. And when they were asked debate, they said, no, we are defeated by you. Not that they were defeated by him because they were having less knowledge. They did not want to waste time all these worldly debates, etc. That's why Jiva Goswami was also chastised by Rupa Goswami. So we have to know when the devotees act in a particular way from the scriptures and from Acharya's commentary, why they act like that. That's why it is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra, Vigyana Bhujai. It's very difficult to understand. Like in this case, Narad Muni appears to be fearful. He's not at all fearful. Nobody, as I said, that his body is Satchidananda. He cannot be cut by any weapon. Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. He has absolutely no fear. He is the incarnation of Lord's Bhakti Shakti. So nothing can touch him or create any problem for Narad Muni. And we come in that parampara only. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
पूछ लो एक बार मुझे भी बोला था अभिजीत प्रो ठीक है कर लो नहीं आप करो मैं शाम में कर लूँगा मैं शाम में कर लूँगा शाम में गाऊँ शाम में भी है मेरे शाम में भी है 2 बार गाने वाला हरे कृष्ण
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कारुणिकमुदारं कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्रजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्रजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुखलाधवमानम् परामृष्टमत्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या
यशोदाभियोलुखलाधवमानम् परामृष्टमत्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या
रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम्
रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्ममृजन्तं कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सातकनेत्रम्
मुहुश्वासकं पात्रीरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
मुहुश्वासकं पात्रीरेखाककण्ठ स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम्
इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्ज आख्यापयन्तम्
तदीयेषि तन्नेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे
तदीयेषि तन्नेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषदपिह
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषदपिह
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषदपिह
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषदपिह
इदं तेव पूर्णाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्याविरस्तं किमन्ये
इदं तेव पूर्णाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्याभिरस्तं किमन्ये
इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलये वृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या
इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलये वृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या
मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मन मनस्याविरस्तं मालं लक्षलाभे
मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्याविरास्ताम् अलं लक्षलाभे
नमो देवदामोदरनन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम्
नमो देवदामोदरानन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम्
नमो देवदामोदरनन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम्
नमो देवदामोदरानन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम्
कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं वतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्ञामेधियक्षिदृश्य
कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं वतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्ञम् एद्रक्षिदृक्षा
कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च
कुबेरात्मजो बद्धमूर्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च
तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह
तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह
नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायथ विश्वस्य दाम्ने
नमस्तेस्तु दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने
नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
नमो प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Damodar Radhe
Jaya Radha Damodar Radhe
Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe
Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
श्री दामोदर अष्टकम की, श्री सत्यव्रत मुनि की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री दामोदर अष्टकम अर्थ, वह भगवान जिनका रूप सत चित और आनंद से परिपूर्ण है, जिनके मकरों के आकार के कुंडल इधर उधर हिल रहे हैं, जो गोकुल नामक अपने धाम में नित्य शोभायमान है, जो दूध और दही से भरी मटकी फोड़ देने के बाद मैया यशोदा की डर से उखल से कूद कर अत्यंत तेजी से दौड़ रहे हैं, और जिन्हें यशोदा मैया ने उनसे भी तेज दौड़कर पकड़ लिया है, ऐसे श्री भगवान को मैं नमन करता हूँ। अपने माता के हाथ में छड़ी देखकर वो रो रहे हैं और अपने कमल जैसे कोमल हाथों से दोनों नेत्र को मसल रहे हैं। उनकी आंखें भय से भरी हुई है। रोदन के आवेग से बारंबार श्वास लेने के कारण त्रिरेखा युक्त कंठ में पड़ी हुई मोतियों की माला कंपित हो रहे हैं और जिनका उदर माँ यशोदा की वात्सल्य भक्ति के द्वारा रस्सी से बंधा हुआ है, उनका सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप सर्वेश्वर श्री कृष्ण की मैं वंदना करता हूँ। ऐसी बाल्य लीलाओं के कारण वे गोकुल के वासियों को आध्यात्मिक प्रेम के आनंद कुंड में डुबो रहे हैं और जो अपने ऐश्वर्य संपूर्ण और ज्ञानी भक्तों को ये बतला रहे हैं कि मैं अपने ऐश्वर्यहीन और प्रेमी भक्तों द्वारा जीत लिया गया हूँ, ऐसे उन दामोदर भगवान को मैं शत शत नमन करता हूँ। हे भगवान, आप सभी प्रकार के वर देने में सक्षम होने पर भी मैं आपसे ना ही मोक्ष की कामना करता हूँ, ना ही मोक्ष का सर्वोत्तम स्वरूप श्री वैकुंठ की इच्छा रखता हूँ और ना ही 9 प्रकार की भक्ति से प्राप्त किए जाने वाले कोई भी वरदान की कामना करता हूँ। मैं तो आपसे बस यही प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि आपका ये बाल स्वरूप मेरे हृदय में सर्वदा स्थित रहे। मुझे और दूसरे वरदान की कोई प्रयोजन नहीं है। हे प्रभु, आपका श्याम रंग का मुख कमल जो कुछ घुंघराले लाल बालों से आच्छादित है, मैया यशोदा द्वारा बारंबार चुंबन किया जा रहा है और आपके ओठ बिंबफल जैसे लाल है। आपका यह अत्यंत सुंदर कमल रूपी मुख मेरे हृदय में विराजित रहे। इससे अन्य सहस्त्र वरदानों का मुझे कोई उपयोग नहीं है। हे देव, हे दामोदर, हे अनंत, हे विष्णु, हे प्रभो, आप मुझ पर प्रसन्न हो। मैं दुख समूह रूप समुद्र में डूबा जा रहा हूँ, अतएव मुझ दीनहीन पर आप अपनी अमृतमय कृपा की वृष्टि कीजिए और कृपया मुझे दर्शन दीजिए। हे दामोदर, जिस प्रकार अपने ओखल में बंधे रहकर भी कुबेर के दोनों पुत्रों का उद्धार कर उन्हें भक्ति भी प्रदान की थी, उसी प्रकार मुझे भी आप प्रेम भक्ति प्रदान कीजिए। यही मेरा एकमात्र आग्रह है। किसी और प्रकार की कोई भी मोक्ष के लिए मेरी कामना नहीं है। हे दामोदर, आपके उदर को बांधने वाली महान रस्सी को प्रणाम है। निखिल ब्रह्म तेज के आश्रय और संपूर्ण ब्रह्मांड का धाम आपके उदर को नमस्कार है। आपकी प्रियतमा श्रीमती राधा रानी के चरणों में मेरा बारंबार प्रणाम है और हे अनंत लीलाएं करने वाले भगवान, आपको प्रणाम है। श्री दामोदर अष्टकम की जय।